Greetings. This is Paul the Poke from paulthepoke.com. Welcome to This Week in Prophecy. This week's topics. Hostage exchange continues with Israel and Hamas. We've got some Black Sea weather, Red Sea pirates, and Venezuela invading. We've got some action potentially in the Western Hemisphere in South America. So, as a reminder, we're going to take a look at Zephaniah 2, verses 4 through 5. For Gaza shall be deserted, and Ashkelon shall become a desolation. Ashdod's people shall be driven out at noon, and Ekron shall be uprooted. Woe to you, inhabitants of the seacoast, you nation of Cherethites. The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan, land of the Philistines, and I will destroy you until no inhabitant is left. Clearly, that has yet to happen. I know I reread these frequently. Do I know when they're going to happen? No, I don't. But the word says what it says. I take it God means business. And at some point, that coastline along the Mediterranean from the Gaza Strip upwards into Lebanon is going to take a serious hit. And that's according to Zephaniah 2, verses 4 and 5. So the latest from the Gaza Strip, hostage exchanges are coming to a close. Well, maybe the truce and hostage exchange has been extended another 2. Well, that was at that time. Now we are up to 5 days. Here is the latest from NBC News. More hostages to be released after Gaza ceasefire is extended. So again, day 5, U.S. pushes for a further extension and a broader hostage deal in new talks in Qatar, take your pick. Got the story going on over here on the right side. CIA Director William Burns is in Qatar for talks aimed at a further extension and a broader hostage deal. Hamas and Israel's military accused each other of the first limited violations of the truce in northern Gaza this morning. Aid continues to flow into Gaza Strip under protection of the ceasefire. Fuel, which Hamas is using to power their equipment, let alone the humanitarian purposes. So, anyhow, if you guys want to read this, feel free. There is a link provided. And of course, this is NBC News reporting. So, make what you want of it with the slant. And this is, the most recent map from War Mapper as far as, SOAR, the new atlas. And in the blue here is pretty much Israel. Here's the border, the fence around the Gaza Strip. Blue is what Israel has taken. They continue to work their way toward the middle. I mean, the northern Gaza Strip is essentially surrounded at this time. So at some point, the hostage exchanges will end, and I suspect hostilities will resume. So with that, we're going to transfer to Ezekiel 38, verses 22 through 23. And the thing we're going to focus on here is God's judgment against Magog and troops, modern day Russia. I will execute judgment upon him with a plague and bloodshed. So illness and bloodshed. I will pour out torrents of rain. And that's what we're going to focus on. It's the only thing we're going to focus on. But look at the other things at God's disposal with his judgment: hailstones, fire, and sulfur on him and on his troops and on the many nations with him. And here's the point: I will magnify and sanctify myself and will reveal myself in the sight of many nations. Then they will know that I am the Lord. So it's not going to be the U.S. Army or cruise missiles or Israel's military. God himself says, hey, I'm going to do this, and you're going to know this is from me. This is from God. And so, again, we're just going to look at rain, the aspect of rain, what has happened in the last week. This is from Anton Gerashenko, Ukrainian patriot, advisor to the Minister of Internal Affairs of Ukraine. Very powerful storm in the Black Sea sank buildings in Russian occupied Crimea, stranded a ship in Russian Krasnodar region, and left hundreds of thousands of people without electricity. Sadly, a lot of Ukrainian people on Russian occupied territories suffer from the horrible weather. Uh, by the way, I wonder how many Russian air defense systems uh, and heavy military have been feeling in Crimea and Krasnodar region. Russian authorities have been suspiciously quiet on that topic since yesterday. Um, in Russian, Sochi, strong winds have caused a building to collapse. That's this second video over here. We're not going to show that. The waves are 4 to 6 meters high. So we're looking at, roughly times 3, 12 to 18 feet. Some of these waves coming in. This has been an exceptional storm. Water doesn't come that far in normally from the ocean. Sochi is where they had the Winter Olympics. I think it was maybe 4 years ago or so at some point. Can't remember actually when. But this is what is most interesting too. The storm washed away trenches in occupied Crimea that Russian army dug out on the beaches. So according to the information from Crimean media, in Yevpatoria, the water washed away the defense line on the coast, engineering buildings and firing positions. So Russia had all this stuff dug in for military utilization, and it just got flooded out. Speed of the wind at the coasts of occupied Crimea reaches 115 to 130 kilometers per hour. So, I mean, we're talking what, off the top of my head, 55 to 70 miles per hour ish, maybe a little more. Waves are 8 to 9 meters tall, so 24 to 27 feet. Crimean mountains wind upwards of 150 kilometers. And so the point being is, modern man in the 21st century talks about how powerful their military is. And we are looking at one aspect of judgment from Ezekiel 38. We're talking about one, and it's rain. Torrents of rain. The waves in the sea shall roar. We didn't see any plagues, nor bloodshed, nor hailstones, fire, and sulfur. Those are other things God promises to utilize as needed. So this is just what water can do. I mean, how many Russians were lost of their military during this storm? So crazy weather on the Crimean Peninsula in the northern part of the Black Sea. So one aspect, something to think about. Um, and these events are not the fulfillment of Ezekiel 38. The context of those verses take place in modern day northern Israel in and around the Golan Heights. And I would suggest this is a little taste of what is to come from Magog. That's modern day Russia and friends, Turkey, Iran, Libya, Sudan, Ethiopia, others, and proxies. This is just a little rain. See what a little rain can do for you? He's got other things at his disposal. Russia and Turkey are looking to have a natural gas hub in Turkey. Russia's Gazprom and Turkey's Botas are working together. Here's a quote from Russian Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak. I'm sure that agreements on the practical implementation of this project will be reached in the near future. Here's the link. This is what the article looks like. It's not much of an article. That happened Saturday. There's the rest of the article. I mean, okay, but there's the highlights. Um, Psalm 136, verse 15. But overthrew Pharaoh and his host in the Red Sea, for his steadfast love endures forever. So that is a friendly reminder to those who want to mess with the Israelites in the Red Sea. Didn't work out too well for Egypt and Pharaoh. And here we go again. Terrorist and pirate activity in the Red Sea is increasing. The Iranian-backed Houthis are hijacking ships, especially those they believe belong to or have ties with Israel. And this is from Vicegrad. U.S. Navy has taken back control of the Israel-affiliated tanker Central Park vessel after it was hijacked by Yemeni Houthi rebels earlier today. So this would have been the 26th, 3 days ago. The USS Mason managed to catch up with it before it reached a Yemeni port. This is from open source intelligence. This is fascinating. Houthi terrorist group in Yemen has released footage of their hijacking yesterday of the Bahamas flagged cargo ship Galaxy Leader in the Red Sea and its 25 crew members, which are now being held as hostages due to the Houthis claiming the ship was linked to Israel shipping or Israeli shipping. We have a special forces here from the Houthis. Got the flag on the helicopter aboard a Mi-8 transport attack helicopter alongside several boats. So they had a whole bunch of little glorified bass busters going along this ship as well. So we will watch this. The first few minutes of this are kind of interesting, but they're going to film it. And for the life of me, I don't understand why some of these ships are not armed. I mean, these guys are just walking out there exposed and could have been eliminated in pretty short order. That helicopter could have been taken out in pretty short order. I don't understand. There must be some rules, regulations, laws, etc. I mean, watch these guys just walking around out there exposed. Somebody sitting there on top of the roof or tucked away could have picked these guys off, and none of this would have never happened. But that's just me. Taking control of the ship, and there's going to be some footage of these guys going underneath the deck, and then it's going to show the smaller boats that surrounded the ship. Not a whole lot on this ship. Of course, it says Deck 9, Hold 2. I don't know what they were carrying. But once we get past this guy, again, just walking around out in the open. And then here's the video of these small rebels and their glorified bass busters surrounding the ship. I'm not going to go any further than that. So if you want to check it out, link provided as well. And with this is 3 days ago, updated map of warships in the Eastern Mediterranean, Red Sea, Gulf of Oman, Gulf of Aden, and Persian Gulf. Now, I'm not going to get down into all the multiple changes. For those of you folks who are interested in these things, please take the time to read this. The point I would make is when you take a look at what's going on now, I mean, we have doubled the amount of resources in this region. And, initially things were focused in the Mediterranean. Now we have things in the Red Sea, finger of the Red Sea up here by Aqaba. We now have the Ike Striker group has crossed the Straits of Hormuz into the Persian Gulf. And we have things sitting, I believe it's the Gulf of Oman. If I'm incorrect, please forgive me. But look at all the stuff that's out there now. And then we have this whole group of ships that, well, they're in the arena, but we don't know where they are. So things are picking up, and a couple of aircraft carriers out there mean business. Seems like we're pretty bent on having a war. And there will be rumors, or there will be wars and rumors of war, said Jesus. Rumor has it Venezuela is looking to invade Guyana. Brazil is mobilizing troops to their northern border. South America is getting more interesting. Oil and gas, of course, are at the heart of the matter. So Venezuela wants to claim this area. This is part of Guyana, but Venezuela says it's theirs. They want it. I like the language. We're going to annex this region. We want it. We're not going to call it an invasion. Some people are, but um, Brazilian armed forces are on high alert following a notable development of military assets and personnel near the eastern Venezuelan Guyana border. So that would be down in here. Officials suspect a potential invasion by Venezuela to annex the Guyana Esquiva region, constituting more than 60% of Guyana's territory. I mean, it'd be a massive land grab of the country of Guyana, subject to claims by the Venezuelan government. Now, we've got some video of troop movement. I think this is Brazilian troop movement. Not much. It's like 8 seconds. I also have seen some other things where there appears to be some shooting and armed conflict in the jungle. Seems to be unclear if this is accurate or not, but there are reports of that out there by some other open source intelligence uh, websites, comments, etc. So that's what we got going on this week. If you are interested and would like to share this with others, please do at paulthepoke.com. If you are not a subscriber, please feel free to type in your email address right here, hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time we put something out. A lot of things taking place this week. So um, please feel free to share with others. Again, this will be under Paul the Poke, Ezekiel 38:39, Gaza Strip, Philistia. Uh, there are your tags and so forth. So appreciate you guys taking the time to follow along. Have a great evening. Bye.